Hello, this webinar is titled Voting, the Importance of Putting into Office Those Who Cherish the U.S. Constitutional System. It's a part of a multi-part series on voting. Well, in order to cherish something, you need to understand something, and this is where we might run into some problems. The Intercollegiate Studies Institute did a basic civics knowledge test of adults. They asked 33 questions of 2,500 American adults, and the results should cause us all great concern. 71% of adults failed. Not to be outdone, 74% of elected officials failed. So here's something to ponder. Do we have the ignorant electing into office those who are even more ignorant? How about you? Have you ever read the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution for yourself? Would you be in the pass or fail category? Well, what does cherish the Constitution mean? Well, George Washington in his farewell address gives a very precise answer to that question. His farewell address was never given verbally, but was printed in the paper on September 17, 1796, which is in fact Constitution Day, 6 months before he was to leave office, and it's a veritable treatise on the U.S. Constitution and our system of government. So key was this farewell address that it was considered one of the 4 key pillars of U.S. civics education for 100 years, the others being studying the Declaration of Independence, the Federalist Papers, and the General Principles of Liberty by Locke and Sidney. Let's look at Washington's sentiments on this and draw out 5 key principles. He says this: "Profoundly penetrated with this idea, I shall carry it with me to my grave as a strong incitement to unceasing vows, that the free Constitution, which is the work of your hands, may be sacredly maintained." Principle number 1, that the Constitution would be protected, maintained, and honored. Secondly, that its administration in every department may be stamped with wisdom and virtue. Well, in order to do that, we need at all levels of government people of character to fill those positions. Thirdly, that the happiness of the people of these states under the auspices of liberty may be made complete by so careful a preservation and so prudent a use of this blessing. His third point is that the people would cherish the true blessings that this constitutional republic is and understand the work that it took to produce it. Fourthly, as will acquire to them the glory of recommending it to the applause, the affection, and the adoption of every nation which is yet a stranger to it. The fourth idea is that they realize that as the citizens of the United States that these principles of freedom and liberty can impact the world. And then in summary, for the 5th point, Washington says this: "For it's the main pillar in the edifice of your real independence, the support of your tranquility at home, your peace abroad, of your safety, of your prosperity, of that very liberty which you so highly prize." So the 5th summary is simply this: it's the main pillar for peace, safety, prosperity, and liberty. It is important to cherish and protect the national Constitution, but the founders also understood that the national Constitution fit into a whole constitutional system. They wanted us to cherish and protect the entire U.S. constitutional system of the national government, the state governments, county governments, local governments, and self-governments, and to see the importance that the whole system plays. Consider this: the best way for the founders to ensure that many future generations of Americans enjoyed the domestic tranquility in their homes and societies was to keep government power separated and operating at the most local level possible. Jefferson said this: "When all government shall be drawn to Washington as the center of all power, it will render powerless the checks provided, and will become as venal and oppressive as the government of George III from which we have separated." He went on to eloquently describe this: "It's not by the consolidation or concentration of powers, but by their distribution that good government is effected. Were not this great country already divided into states? That division must be made that each might do for itself what concerns itself directly, and what it cannot so much better do than a distant authority. Every state again is divided into counties, each to take care of what lies within its local bounds, each county again into townships or wards to manage minuter details. It is by this partition of cares, descending in gradation from general to particular, that the mass of human affairs may be best managed for the good and prosperity of all." So not only do we need to cherish the Constitution, we need to cherish the U.S. constitutional system, and we need to elect people who understand and cherish the whole U.S. constitutional system to serve us in office. This is U.S. Civics Training. Thanks for listening.